네, 안녕하십니까. 5월 세 번째 헤드라인 5개 기사가 되겠습니다. 예, 이번 5가지 기사 중에는요, 나름 재밌고 흥미로운 이 내용들이 있으니까는요, 전체 내용 한번 쭉 밑에 글을 보면서 보셔도 되고, 그냥 내용만 보고 듣기 능력 향상시키는데 도움되면 좋겠습니다. 전체 내용은 밑에 제가 달아놓는 링크 오시면은 또 확인하실 수 있고, 5개 기사에서 중요한 그 어휘 또 표현 그걸 활용한 예문도 확인하실 수 있으니까 꼭 오셔가지고 확인 부탁드리겠습니다. 예, 전체 기사 내용은 한 6분 조금 넘어가니까는요, 크게 부담스럽지 않을 것 같습니다. 같이 내용 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
There's a new way to smoke tobacco in the U.S., and that's a big victory for Philip Morris. The company's pen-like IQOS product was cleared for sale by the Food and Drug Administration Tuesday, giving Philip Morris another tobacco product to push outside of traditional cigarettes. Rather than burn with a match, IQOS sticks simply heat in these cases and generate an aerosol containing nicotine rather than smoke. E-cigarettes, by contrast, vaporize a nicotine-filled liquid with no tobacco involved. IQOS had been under review for 2 years by the FDA, which concluded that they were, quote, appropriate for the protection of public health because they produce, quote, fewer or lower levels of some toxins than combustible cigarettes. But they must carry the same warning labels as traditional cigarettes, at least for now. The FDA is still mulling Philip Morris's request to claim that IQOS poses less of a health risk than their cancer-causing predecessors. IQOS is currently available in Japan and throughout much of Europe. Altria Group, which sells Marlboros, will market the devices in the U.S. as part of a licensing agreement with Philip Morris. IQOS rolls out this summer, beginning in Atlanta.
It's not every day you take advice from a bench, but this one's trying to protect your health. Sensors inside change colour depending on the air quality around it. Green means take a seat, the air is relatively clean. Amber means maybe don't stay too long, while red means air pollution is too high and you should stay indoors. Ironically, it was invented by 2 coal miners in southern Poland.
For
the sake of our children, we wanted to create a product that could easily show us which places we could go for a walk in and in which places it would be better to stay at home.
As well as warning about dirty air, it's actively cleaning it with an inbuilt purifier.
The purifying system, which has been installed in the benches, cleans 860 cubic meters of air per hour, which allows it to purify the air in a room which measures 80 square meters.
There's currently just one bench installed in the city hall of the maker's hometown, but they have hopes to expand production. It's a small step towards solving a much bigger problem. In 2016, 33 of the 50 most polluted places in the European Union were in Poland, according to the World Health Organization. Around 80% of the country's power currently comes from coal. It aims to halve that by 2040, with renewable energy and nuclear power providing most of the shortfall.
The measles outbreak is getting worse. The number of new cases in the United States has now reached a 25-year high. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Monday reporting that there are now 704 confirmed measles cases. Health officials are blaming the outbreak on misinformation about vaccines, calling it completely avoidable.
Immediacy of action is critical.
The current outbreak has been concentrated in New York, where Rockland County declared a state of emergency last month, and officials on Monday called on the public to heed the warnings.
Vaccination hesitancy is one of the greatest threats to public health throughout the world. So we're here today pushing legislation to remove all non-medical exemptions for children attending school in New York State.
The CDC is also recommending people already vaccinated who are living in or traveling to outbreak areas should consider getting a new dose. For those not vaccinated or too young to get a vaccine, the disease is highly contagious and, according to the CDC, can be fatal, killing 1 or 2 of nearly 1,000 children who contract it. But so far, there have been no fatalities in the recent outbreak. WeWork, which provides shared working space for startups and independent workers, has filed for an initial public offering, according to a statement from its parent, We Company, on Monday. The New York-based company could be the second biggest U.S. market listing of the year after Uber, which is expected to debut on the stock market next week. In its latest funding round in January, WeWork, which counts SoftBank as a major investor, was valued at $47 billion. SoftBank is also an investor in Uber. And like the many high-profile tech companies with big valuations, including Uber, WeWork is grappling with steep losses with little sign of turning a profit anytime soon. In the first 3 quarters of 2018, WeWork posted a net loss of about $1.2 billion on revenue of nearly the same. The company started as a co-working space in Manhattan 8 years ago and continues to expand fast into new markets.
Ford Motor revealed Friday it's the subject of a Justice Department criminal probe. The automaker's emissions certification process coming under scrutiny by the nation's top legal authority. Earlier this year, Ford voluntarily revealed to regulators that there may be errors in the calculations used to translate test results into the mileage and emissions data it submitted. Ford has hired outside experts to review its vehicle fuel economy and testing procedures after concerns were brought to light by employees. Regulators have been cracking down on emissions cheating following the major 2015 Volkswagen scandal. The German automaker used cheating devices to make diesel engines appear to comply with emissions standards. In fact, the automobiles were pumping out far more pollution than Volkswagen led regulators to believe. Ford reiterated Friday that it is not using so-called defeat devices to cheat on emissions standards.